You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
People do not seem to understand that so many people come to government knowing that they're not going to make the kind of money that they would make in the private sector. But they come to government to feed their souls, to help other people, to lift them up, to make their lives better. And that's you and you and you and you. And so
the state is God under the New World Order. It's you joined the priesthood and gave up everything because you wanted to feed your soul. You wanted to join with God. The New World Order is the state is God. There are some people that do join government because they want to make a difference and help people. That is certainly true. But overall, the claim that the majority of people are doing it to, quote, feed their soul shows the sickening disconnect from an incredibly corrupt congressman who's been defending the IRS, persecuting the Tea Party, Christians, and libertarian and conservative groups. He is a perennial abomination. And I've seen the different metrics. In fact, we should do a story countering this because I know the numbers are out there. I've seen it many times. That government workers, for the degrees they have, make more money than people in the private sector and have better benefits. So that's another lie that people in government make less than their counterparts in the private sector. Yes, on the high end, CEO type things, of course the CEO makes more than, say, the head of the Justice Department, which is a major position over hundreds of thousands of people. But when you become the head of the Justice Department, when you leave it in 4 to 8 years, you then get millions a year for another decade or longer on different boards. Or you get put on the board or made part owner of the naked body scanner company that makes $4 billion in 1 year, and you personally get 20-something million dollars like Chertoff, the head of Homeland Security, got. It was 23 million smackers he got. He made the order for the naked body scanners while the head of Homeland Security left, and a year later got a nice payday. If that isn't conflict of interest, if that isn't a revolving door, if that isn't a payoff, giving yourself the contract, I don't know what is. But now in government, that is basically ubiquitous. Stuff that people would get in trouble for a long time ago, they don't. If you go back 50 years ago, the media would not report on and people would not get in trouble if they were, say, in Congress for cheating on their wife or visiting a hooker. Not saying that's good. But that wasn't an issue that affected the general population. If you got caught stealing or you got caught giving yourself contracts, you would go to jail. Not anymore. Not anymore. Oh, but they will prosecute you if you're the governor of New York visiting a hooker. See, that's like they went after Clinton for sex in the White House. And it's fine to cover that. I mean, Clinton's a terrible guy. He lied about it. I did not have sex with that woman. You know, Drudge broke all that. But the only reason the media picked up on it is because they could burn him for that, but not get into Iridium satellite and Laura Allen Hughes missile technology and the Chinese and cattle futures and dead members of the cabinet like Vince Foster, on and on and on. Because the Republicans were knee-deep in that as well. Ken Starr, the special prosecutor's law firm, was the big law firm for the Communist Chinese and the missile deals. So you can believe that never got touched. So this is the philosophy, the system they're using of control. CNBC anchors stunned. There is no economic recovery. That clip's coming up. We've got a new, some new breaking news that we're codifying right now on the nuke perhaps going off in Ukraine. Now there's film footage, Rob News getting me, of folks filming it, and then their camera cuts out, which would be an EMP and more. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this Wednesday, the 11th day of February, 2015, worldwide transmission. I am now 41 years old. And the only thing I ask on my birthday is that no one wish me happy birthday and that we just move on from it. Just move on because, I'm not upset I'm 41. But at the same time, it is very interesting to see how fast life does go by. It just accelerates. As you get older, I'd always heard that from my parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, and it's certainly true that when I was a little kid, I mean, it seemed like Christmas would take 1,000,000 years to get there. Or my birthday would take 1,000 years to get there. And sitting there in church would be incredibly boring. And 2 hours felt like 20 years. Well, now I just kind of enjoy something coming up in a month or two. I enjoy it when I'm not in a hurry and it takes an hour for them to bring out the food at a restaurant. I enjoy just sitting on a dock fishing and letting the time go by as slowly as possible. Because however the brain works, it's years are going by like weeks went by when I was 10 years old. And I guess it just goes faster and faster from here on out. But, it's not just individually. As we get older, things seem to move quicker. Technological developments are moving faster and faster. Inventions are increasing. Technologies are integrating together faster and faster. There are so many amazing opportunities in all of this, but let's not blink and then our lives go by and we've had our whole culture, our whole civilization, our whole genetic code turned over to the technocrats. This is about free will in the final equation. Dan Kofal has a show out of Dallas. He's interviewed the Federal Reserve head there. He's done a really great job over the years. I'm a listener of the show. We're going to have Dan on with us for 30 minutes at the bottom of the hour to talk about a host of issues. We're going to be getting into global financial metrics and how those metrics tell the future. Greek exit from the EU. Russia and China both want the U.S. Materially weakened. EMPs are a lose-lose. Dollar weakness. Baltic dry index, lowest it's ever been. Oil demand dropping. Great Depression. Food lines, now called EBT cards. Derivatives at risk over Greece, about $30 trillion, enough to sink the world. And he's not a very alarmist guy. Those are pretty alarmist talking points he wants to go over today with us. And then Vani Hari, the food babe, has really broken into the big time and is now all over the news. General Mills has now capitulated and says they'll remove BHT from cereals and a bunch of other dangerous additives. So that's a major victory. I'd like to be able to buy General Mills cereal. I mean, I'm not a food snob here. I just don't want a bunch of GMO and a bunch of glyphosates. Also, companies are backing out of more and more milk that's connected to Monsanto and has glyphosate in it. I mean, there is a lot of positive stuff happening in what we've got left of a market. Where you can truly vote is in a free market. And that's why the globalists are at war with free markets while scapegoating capitalism. But Breyers drops milk. Yeah, Breyers drops milk tainted with Monsanto's RBST. And of course, that's the growth hormone. Yet another victory in the battle for proper health. How about for not having daughters that are 8 feet tall and who go into puberty at age 7 and who are having babies at 12 and then are dead of cancer at 36? Because if you look at the studies, that growth hormone, just like glyphosate, accelerates growth in tissues for whatever reason, especially in women. And that's why there's a phenomenon, and you'll go to the mall or any public place, you'll see two parents that are obviously the biological parents of girls. They'll have a son there that's a little bit taller than them. Then they'll have a daughter that's like 6.5 feet tall, and the parents are 5'10", 5'7". And it's growth hormone. We are now 30 years plus into this synthetic growth hormone that is in the milk. And maybe you want to take growth hormone when you're 50. It's got risk associated with it, but it does make you look younger. I've seen the studies on that. But no, we're not talking about human identical growth hormone in low levels. We're talking about cheap, mass-produced bovine growth hormone in the milk. It's not good. And you want to accelerate aging? When you're old, growth hormone, they can argue, can slow aging or reverse it. But then it'll also grow cancers. It's been connected to that. But you give it to somebody that's already fast-growing, already in the middle of their youth, you take anabolic steroids when you're 14 years old, it's going to stunt your growth and accelerate your aging and warp your organs, expand your heart. Well, you take GH, ladies and gentlemen, bovine GH and other chemicals, when you are a teenager or going through puberty, you're going to be messed up. And that's why we got a country full of messed up-looking people. And I'm not trying to be mean here. We're all messed up from the fluoride, the GMO. We're all kind of walking dead in one level or another. We can still fight back and stop it being done to the next generation.